Introduction. The hook and set. Imagine this. You've got a big test or deadline, and no matter how hard you study or how many hours you put in, it just doesn't stick. Hours wasted, results disappointing. Why? Because most of us were never taught how to learn effectively. But what if I told you that just a few science-backed techniques could transform the way you study, cutting your time and doubling your retention? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to study effectively, backed by decades of cognitive science and psychology. So, get ready, because these strategies might just change your life. But first, let's address a hard truth. Not knowing how to learn could hold you back in ways you can't imagine. Stick around to the end, because the last technique is the secret weapon top performers use every single day. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. The core content one, the power of spaced repetition. The first science-backed technique is spaced repetition. I know, sounds technical, but here's why it works. Rather than cramming all at once, spaced repetition spreads your learning out over time. And believe me, this isn't just a tip. It's a cognitive superpower. Studies show that reviewing information at spaced intervals can improve memory by up to 400%. Yeah, you heard that right. 4 times better. Imagine walking into an exam and actually remembering everything you reviewed. No last-minute panic. No blank stares at the page. You'd feel like a superhero, wouldn't you? Here's a thought. What if cramming is the reason most people never reach their full potential? Think about that. And keep watching, because we're only just getting started. 2. Active recall, unlocking your brain's hidden potential. All right, next up is active recall. Ever hear that saying, teach it to learn it? That's active recall in action. Instead of passively reading or highlighting, you actively pull information out of your brain, reinforcing those neural connections. Here's the catch. It's challenging, and honestly, it can feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it's hard, but it works. Studies show that students who practice active recall perform up to 50% better on tests than those who don't. Just imagine walking into any exam with that kind of advantage. You'd probably feel like a genius, right? But don't get too confident yet. Our next strategy will keep your memory sharper than a knife. 3. Interleaving. Mix it up for maximum results. Now, let's talk about interleaving. This is where you mix up what you're studying instead of sticking to just one subject. Why? Because the brain loves novelty. By interleaving subjects, you're forcing your mind to work harder, which makes learning stick. Let's say you're studying math, science, and history. Instead of studying each in a block, you'd switch between them in intervals. Research shows this mixing effect can increase retention by 30%. But here's the best part. It actually helps you perform better under pressure. Think about it. Ever had a brain freeze during an exam? Interleaving helps prevent that. Plus, switching subjects might just keep you from completely losing your mind on those marathon study sessions. 4. Using visualization to reinforce memory. Next, let's talk about visualization. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to remember a movie plot, but not a textbook page? That's because the brain loves visuals. By creating mental images or even vivid scenes for what you're learning, you're building a powerful memory anchor. Imagine studying historical events like you're watching a movie in your mind. Visualizing the key elements, people, and places strengthens memory pathways in the brain. In one study, students who visualized information recalled up to 65% more. Now, imagine if you could make every piece of knowledge as easy to remember as your favorite film. Amazing, right? The Feynman technique: teach to learn. Here's a powerful method used by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman. It's simple. If you can't explain a concept clearly, you don't understand it. By breaking down complex ideas and teaching them in simple terms, you uncover gaps in your understanding and deepen your learning. And here's my challenge to you. Pick something you're studying and try explaining it to a friend. Better yet, to yourself in the mirror. The Feynman technique not only tests your knowledge, but cements it. It's like giving yourself a knowledge upgrade every time. And hey, who doesn't want an upgrade? But I saved the best for last, so stick with me. The big takeaway and conclusion. 6. The ultimate weapon. Building consistency and routine. Now here's the final piece, and it's the secret weapon of every high achiever: consistency. None of these methods work overnight. They take time and discipline. Studies show that creating a learning routine rewires your brain, making studying a habit that feels natural, not forced. Imagine a routine so solid that learning becomes second nature. Your knowledge snowballs, and with every day, your potential grows. That's not just effective studying, that's transformational. So, are you ready to unlock your true potential? Are you ready to make learning your superpower?